Hello, my little nightmares. It's me, Queen Nightmare, and I'm going to do, you guessed it, creepypasta. What did I do? Oh, I dropped my headphones. Whoops. Thank you guys for being such a support to everything I do, and I just wanted to tell you it is amazing, and you guys talk to me so much. I feel like we're a big family. I don't even have a, nothing. But I was on IMVU and people weren't nice. They called me ugly, so it's nice to hear from you guys every day, and as you can tell, my self-esteem isn't the best. It's fun just to talk to you guys. And my thing won't load. There we go. It's called Love Hurts, Jeff x Slenderman by Savage_Ice_Wolf1. Okay. That's a name. But yeah, you know what I mean? They meet. Jeff's POV. People write stories about me and describe how I look. I personally, I don't care what they say, what they write. But anyways, let's continue this story later. Now let's begin with all the fun. I was running after a girl, and the girl stopped because she thought I left. I hid behind a tree. When I hid behind the tree, I felt that someone else was here. Since I felt that, I decided to kill them. Since then, I decided that I decided to kill them quickly. So I went behind the girl and stabbed her from the back. She screamed. It was like music to my ears. After she died, I carved a smile on her face, like mine. After that, I said, I know you're there. Come out of hiding. Slenderman's POV. I was hiding because I knew that Jeff was gonna be here. So I then waited till he killed that girl. After he killed her, he said, I know you're here. Come out of hiding. I looked kind of shocked. And I said, how did you know I was here? I stared at him, walking towards him, and I stopped in front of him. He has white skin, a carved smile in his cheeks, and black eyeliner, with black eyeshadow and black hair. Wait, what? So this is, I think, from the author. I didn't want to add the part where he burnt his eyelids so in this story, he has eyelids. Okay. Well, it's easier to play the person if you ever reenact this. Had almost all black on except his sweatshirt, which was white. Jeff then replied, I just knew, that's all. I looked at him, and he asked me what his name was, and he said it was Jeff. Then I said, my name is Slenderman. Okay then, Slenderman, what do you want? Jeff said, and I then said, do you have a home? Jeff stared at me and said, no, I killed my family and I burnt down my house. I then said, do you want to live with me in my mansion? Jeff turned around and said, nah, I don't do well with normal people. Jeff was about to walk away, but then I said, I take care of people like you and even demons. My dad's making noises. Jeff said, if you mean take care of them, you mean fix them, so you don't really kill anymore. I said, no, I encourage them to kill more people. Jeff turned to face me and said, Fine, I'll go, but only because I don't have a place to stay. Time skip. No one's POV. Or third person. I love that. No one's POV. Just telling the story. Slenderman teleported himself and Jeff into the mansion. Slender opened the door, only to see Ben, Sally running around. Eyeless Jack and Laughing Jack arguing, Toby bothering Masky, Hoodie and Clockwork fighting, and Jane, Nina, and Sully / Lou, aka Jeff's brother, arguing. Slender entered the mansion and told everyone to sit down in the living room. Jeff entered it and saw a lot of people in the living room. Slender signaled him to come into the living room. Jeff stared, walking towards the living room, and said, "There are 3 faces I hate." Nina got up and hugged Jeff and said, "Jeffy, you're back for me." Jeff pushed her off and said, I did not come for you. Jane and Lou got up and put knives near his throat. Lou, you never learn. Knives like yours don't kill me. And you, Jane, I knew you were just a copycat. Slenderman's tentacles grabbed Jane and Lou and put them down on the couch. Anyway, this is Jeff the Killer. For those who don't know him, and Sally, why don't you show him around? Sally jumped up and down and said, "Yay!" Sally ran up to Jeff and grabbed his leg. Wait, she ain't that small. I'm sorry. She at least can grab his hand and mid. She's only 7. 7-year-olds nowadays are a lot taller. I guess it's the wrong one. Okay. Sally jumped up and down and said, "Yay." Sally ran up to Jeff and grabbed his leg. Oh, and Sally, make sure he knows everyone. You get to help Jeff decorate his room with your powers. She has powers now? Okay, Slenderman said. Sally pulled Jeff all the way to his room. Jeff's POV. All right, Sally, let's decorate my room. Oh, and no light colors, I said. And Sally then said, "Oh, like black and red." I then said, "Yeah, that would be awesome. And why don't you add a little play place so when you want to play with me in my room, sound fair?" Sally said, "Okay, big brother." I was shocked at what Sally said. "Big brother?" I asked. Then Sally said, "Yeah, I'm going to call you my big brother." I nodded in agreement, and then Sally said, "Come on, let's meet the others." That's episode 1. Hope you like. Oh, Jeff is emo like me, so he looks like this. And there's a picture, and this is his bedroom. Actually, that's a dope bedroom. You know what? I want his bedroom. Dang, girl. This is life. What's this feeling? Jeff's POV. It's been 2 weeks since I've been with the creepypastas. It's been fun here, but Lou and Jane still hate me, and I still hate them. Nina is still fangirling about me. I met Eyeless Jack, or as I call him, EJ. There's Laughing Jack, or LJ. There's Toby, there's Masky, there's Hoodie, there's Ben, etc. Anyways, today was boring as all. As soon as I was just about to play with Ben, 'cause I had nothing better to do with Slenderman. Slenderman called me to his office. Oh, Jeff's in trouble," Jane said, and I shot her a death glare. And I walked to Slenderman's office. I knocked on his door, so all I heard from the inside is, "Come in." So I opened the door. I leaned on the wall. "You think you can take care of the creepypastas for today?" Slenderman said. I looked at him and I blushed. Then I said, "Oh, sure, I can look after them while you're gone," I said. I said when I started blushing. Did I really stutter as I was talking to him? I never stuttered before Slenderman. And then Slenderman said, "All right, thanks. Oh, and tell Sally to help you." All I did was nod and left his office. All right, it's not that hard to take care of them, I thought. I walked down the stairs and saw all of them arguing, playing around, except for Masky, Hoodie, and EJ. I got a headache from all of the screaming and shouting. I then yelled at them to get their attention. I said, Slenderman said, "Me and Sally are in charge, so you guys have to behave." I then heard Jane say, "Really? He put you and the little girl in charge?" Sally and I looked at each other. "I'm not a little girl." Literally in real time, she's probably 30-something now. Sally said, I tapped her shoulder and she looked at me. "Sally, why don't you go wait in my room? Play in the play area that you put in there." Sally looked happy and hugged me. Then she ran to my room. "As for the rest of you, stop arguing and yelling. Do something quiet. And Nina, before you ask, it's a no." Nina gave me the puppy dog eyes, and all I did was turn around and went to my room to play with Sally. Slendy's POV. While I was on my mission, I couldn't get Jeff out of my head. The way his eyes shine, his nice smile, his pale skin, his black hair, his everything. I want to be his everything anyways. I just finished my mission. It's been an hour since I left the mansion. So then I got back. When I walked in, I saw everyone quiet. I was surprised. So, as to why they were all so quiet, it was a first. I didn't see Jeff or Sally. "Hey, Ben, where is Jeff and Sally?" I asked with a confused face. And the author says, "Just bear with me. I know he doesn't have a face." It's kind of like the voice, you can tell through the voice. They're in Jeff's room," Ben said. I went to Jeff's room, but I stopped at Jeff's door because I heard laughing on the other side of the door. Then I knocked on the door. "Come in," I heard Jeff say on the other side of the door. I heard laughter, and I walked in. I saw Sally tickling Jeff, his laughter was so cute. "I don't know how you did it, but thanks for taking care of them, you and Sally," I said. Jeff smiled and said, "It's no biggie." I started to blush a shade of pink. Sally ran up to me and hugged me and said, "You're welcome. Can you read me a bedtime story?" I nodded in agreement, and Sally ran to her room, and I looked at Jeff and said, "Good night." Jeff giggled and said good night as well. The next day, Jeff's POV. I woke up to the smell of eggs, pancakes, and some blood. I'm like a vampire. You can say I like to drink blood. I changed into my usual clothes and headed downstairs to find everyone there is sitting down, and Slender gives me my eggs and pancakes. I can't have eggs and pancakes together. I can have sausage and pancakes. That sounds good because you can have the syrup with your sausages. And then he gives me a glass cup with blood in it. Lou and Jane looked at me and they say, "Since when did you drink blood?" I looked at them in confusion and said, I've always liked blood. So what are you talking about? Jane whispered, "Vampire." Of course I heard her, but I just shrugged my shoulders and started to eat like everyone else. Time skip to 9 p.m. We were all in the living room. Ben, Sally, and LJ sat on the floor. EJ sat on the sofa to the right of Jane and Hoodie. Masky sat on the couch to the left with Toby sitting on his lap. I sat on the couch facing the TV. Slender on one side of me and Nina on the other side. We were all watching a scary movie. I wasn't scared till a jump scare happened. I dug my face in Slenderman's chest. I didn't realize that I did that. Once I did, I was blushing. And all the color went to my face. Slenderman's POV. We were all watching a scary movie in the living room, and a jump scare came out of nowhere in the movie. But I was shocked because Jeff dug his face in my chest. I blushed, of course. They both came to the conclusion that they loved each other, but the other person didn't know it. Author's note: this kinda sounds weird now that I typed it. End of the author's note. Anyways, after the movie, I noticed that everyone was asleep. I was gonna get up, but I felt an arm go around me, and I look up to see Jeff sleeping on me. I looked at Jeff and smiled at his cute face. Then I fell asleep on the couch. Okay. Who? I'll pick this up tomorrow. Sorry guys, I had to spend Labor Day with my dad, so this is why it was broken up in 2 days. But here we go. She's back. Slenderman's POV. I woke up only to see Ben, Sally, EJ, and Toby taking pictures of something, and Lou, Nina, and Jane arguing about something that has to do with Jeff. I was sitting up. I sit up, but then I felt something on me, and I looked down, only to see Jeff sleeping. I then understood why they were taking pictures, and Lou, not Sully, just Lou, Jane, and Nina arguing. What I didn't understand is why Jane was arguing, but whatever, Jeff said, as he shifted in his sleep. "Aw," they said. Then we all heard a knock at the door. "I'll get it," Sally said. As Sally ran towards the door, I picked up Jeff bridal style and took him to his room, which is really nicely decorated. Then I teleported downstairs, only to see her. Crystal's POV. In parentheses, my OC. I finally found my cousin's home, so I knocked on the door and someone opened it. I looked only to see my favorite creepypasta, Sally. "Chris, you are here," Sally said. Chris is short for Crystal. This is the author's note. This story, just to let you know, also there will be more than one person I'll be adding to the story. Just stay put. Sally hugged me and we entered the house. I saw my cousin appear in front of me. I hugged him, but more like a squeeze to him, as I let tears go down my face. He looked at me. "Sally, what's wrong?" Slendy said, and I faked smiled at him. "I'm fine," I said, and I didn't want to yell, but I was on the edge of doing so. You're not okay, so please tell me what's wrong," Slendy said, as to not yell either. "I said I'm fine," I yelled, as tears streamed down my face. "Please don't yell. Jeff's sleeping upstairs. But I won't push you to tell me what, but I hope you do," Slendy said, and with a worried face. I nodded. "Do you, have anything to eat?" I said as I wiped my tears from my eyes. "I'll make some food. Go relax. Oh, can you change Sally into clean clothes?" Slendy said, as I nodded and grabbed Sally's hand and took her to her room. Time skip to 35 minutes later. Jeff's POV. I woke up because I smelled blood. So I changed quickly and I ran downstairs to the kitchen. I stopped at the entrance of the kitchen because I saw a girl with a reddish purplish coat with a white bra on. In author's note, she doesn't wear shirts, just bras. I mean, so does some other people, but we'll not go there. With blue shorts and Burganda. I'm sorry, I don't know that boot brand that go all the way to her knees. She has white skin, red eyes, dark blue hair, and blue wolf ears with cuts all over her body. Pic up above. There's a pic? There's not a picture. I don't know what she's fooling, but there's no picture. No, I'm kidding. "Who is she?" I said, with a confused face. "Hi, I'm Crystal, but you can call me Chris. I'm Slendy's cousin. And you are?" Why did I sound like Hermione? Chris. Oh, she meant below. I don't know if this is a boy, girl, attacked helicopter. It's you. You be you, boo. Chris said with a smile as she sipped her coffee. "I'm Jeff the Killer," I said as I sat down in my seat. Then Slender gave me a glass cup of blood in it, and she looked at me. "You drink blood?" Chris said. I said, as I drank some of the blood. "Then that means, OMG, I can't believe it. I found one of your kind, because I heard that they all went extinct," Chris said, and with a happy face. Almost everyone was confused including me. "Do you mean vampire?" Jane said, with an annoyed face. "Don't tell me you don't know your own species," Chris said. "I don't know what you're talking about," I said, sounding confused. "Here, I'll tell you. You are a... ... Author's note. Sorry, I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger, and I'll show you what Chris looks like. She said up above. They said up above, but it's actually down below. It's a beautiful girl. Yeah. Move. Jeez. He's a what? Oh, jeez. No, please, no. I'm gonna lose my shirt. Okay. Chris POV. You are a Neko, Jeff, I said with my eyes glowing. They all looked confused. Still, I sighed. A Neko is a person who has a form of a werewolf cat that has so many powers, probably stronger than your guys' combined. Everyone was shocked. except for my cousin Slender. So I'm stronger than all of them? Jeff said. I nodded. I suggest you get some practice with someone who is a cat or a werewolf like me, I said. Well, then can you help me? Jeff said, and I jumped up and screamed happily, sort of, like a girl scream, you can say. Jeff's POV. It felt like my ears were bleeding, especially since it was still early in the morning. I was still kind of tired, but I'm sure that scream woke me up. Anyways, when do you want to start training? Chris said. How about a week from now? I said. Sure, that's the perfect time to get to know each other. Chris and I laughed, and as soon as I finished my blood, I went back to my room and plugged my earbuds and listened to Alexandra, my favorite band in the entire world. Well, second, because I loved Black Veil Brides. They are absolutely awesome. That's my opinion. Sorry, I like Black Veil Brides too. I lay on my bed for quite some time, until Sally came into my room and noticed that I had my eyes closed with my earbuds in. She shook me. Hey Sal, what's up? I said with my eyes closed. Can we play games together? Sal said, with a smile on her face. Sure, do you want to play Xbox? I sounded kind of tired, but I still managed to stay awake. Somehow. Sure, let's play. And after we can watch Riverdale. Okay. I have never seen Riverdale, and I don't want to, because it looks like another Glee. I watched all of Glee, and that's all I can take of it. That's too real for me. Together, Sally said. I nodded my head in agreement. 3 hours later. Slenderman's POV. It was already nighttime, so I was gonna go get Sally and put her in bed so she can rest. So I went to Jeff's room, figuring she would be in there. I opened Jeff's door and I saw Sally and Jeff sleeping with the TV on. I picked up Sally and teleported to Sally's room and tucked her into bed. I teleported back to Jeff's and I put the black blanket on Jeff and put the pillow under his head so he could sleep comfortably. I was gonna walk out of the room till a hand grabbed me. Don't go, Jeff whispered. I turned around and I smiled. I still don't know how. It's pretty much, you can tell by the way of their voice. Like, you're seeing someone with the mask on, and you know that they're smiling with their eyes, or even if you can't see their face, you can tell through their voice or their actions as well. I won't leave your side, so just rest, I said. As soon as he fell back to sleep, I went back to my room to rest. The next day, Sally's POV. When I woke up, I noticed I wasn't in Jeff's room. Slendy must have brought me back to my room, I said. I heard the door open, only to reveal Chris. Come on, food's ready, Chris said. I stretched and I hugged Chris. As she lifted me up and carried me to the kitchen, I noticed that Jeff was not here at the table. Where's my big bro? I said, while I sat down. He's sleeping, Slendy said, while giving me my plate of food. Like always, Lou said, while eating his food. Instead of Jeff telling people to go to sleep, he should really tell himself that, Jane said. Jeff's POV. Instead of Jeff telling people to go to sleep, he should tell himself that, Jane said, and I arrived in time to hear it. If you're gonna make fun of me, might as well say it to my face, 'cause if I hear you say that again, I'll make sure I'm your worst nightmare come true, I said in a threatening voice, which caused Jane to get scared. I looked kind of gloomy, because I hated mornings. I mean, who doesn't? I haven't actually met a person who doesn't hate mornings, so that could be a competition. Why don't you sit down and enjoy your breakfast? Slendy said, and I stretched and sat down in my seat. After breakfast. Still Jeff's POV. It was kind of calm today. I was calm. I enjoyed the silence because no one bothered me, so I was about to take a nap when my phone rang, and of course, I answered it. Hello? Hi, Jeff. Miss me? Someone said, and I hung up. I gritted my teeth as to the voice, and I hated so much. Had called me. Ben, can you track someone from my phone? I said, looking really mad. Sure. Who is it? Ben said, with a hint of fear in his voice. 'Cause he looked a bit terrified, I showed him my phone and pointed at a specific person on it. He's at the entrance of the forest, Ben said. I grabbed my knife and a backup one as well. I walked to the entrance of the forest, all mad, when Jeff arrived at the entrance of the forest. What do you want? I said, with a sounding mad. Well, if it isn't Jeff the killer, that someone said. Well, that's the end of this chapter. I just love the author's notes. They're so nice and spunky. Come on. Thank you. Hey guys, I hope you enjoy my series. I'll try to upload every week. Don't play the song yet. What song? Oh, the song they put in. Okay. Jeff's POV. Well, if it isn't Jeff the killer, someone said, and I took out my knife. And I held it close to me. Held it close to someone's neck. They're not actually saying someone's neck. They're actually putting question marks by where the name goes. So I'm going to say someone to make a little bit of sense. Why are you here? What do you want? I said, as I put the knife closer to his neck, so it's a he. Okay, we're pacing it down. What I want is you, someone said. I was scared for the first time. Well, kinda scared, 'cause my body felt like it was changing. Next thing I have wolf ears and and a very fluffy tail. Then I see blank laying on the floor, 'cause I killed him. Then everything went black. Shit. Who's the guy who you killed? I want to know his name, sorry. I'm getting really into this. Masky's POV. Me and Hoodie were patrolling the forest till we came across two guys on the floor. One that had a blue sweater on him. He seemed dead. The other, which I think is Jeff, was passed out. I wasn't sure, but when I looked at his face, it had a permanent smile. Oh my goodness. It's Jeff. We gotta take him back to the manor, I said, and you carry him. Hoodie said, surprisingly, he was really light. All right, let's go, I said. I don't know what that tongue thing came from. When we arrived at the manor, Lou came up to us and said, What happened? Who did this to him? He said this in a worried voice. I don't know, but get Slender now. He has an accent. Sorry, Masky. Just comes out. Later that day, Jeff's POV. I woke up in Slender's room, wondering what happened to me. From Slender's bed and... okay, what? Wondered what happened. I got up from Slender's bed and made sure no one knew I was up. So I went through the roof and sat down with my legs dangling on the edge of the roof. And I sighed. I started to sing. Oh, good grief. Oh, please don't tell. This is a My Chemical Romance song. We can't sing this. Demonetized. I'm sorry. It's a whole, I think it was, I'll sing the first part of it. 8 years old, he was kicking and screaming. I'll go to school if you give me a reason, and the kids are all mean. Why does it sound like a My Chemical Romance song? I know it is. And it literally sings the whole song. I can't sing it, but you can listen to it while you're listening to this. I heard it clapping as I got up and turned around and saw Slendy and Lou there. What are you guys doing here? I said, while staring at them. I knew you woke up, but you weren't in Slender's room, so I knew you would be on the roof. I see you still do this to calm down, Lou said. You have a great voice. You know that, Slender said. Hey, why do you have wolf ears and a tail? Lou said. I don't know, but I think it has something to do with my powers, I said. I think that your training might have came sooner, Slender said, and I nodded. We went back inside the mansion. End of chapter 5. Wait, it's already chapter 5? There's 7 chapters to this. I might just do this in one video. Well, I mean, chapter 5 is mostly a song, but still. And no, we're not going to sing September. If you ever have seen the video of Jeff the Killer September, I totally recommend it because that's one of my favorite songs too. So, Jeff's POV. After today, with the whole me passing out after my transformation, I decided to go to sleep. Well, I should be since it's 1 a.m., so I decided to go to sleep. Later in his sleep, I had a nightmare about my Jeff's nightmare. In Ghost September, I cannot. It's pretty much him remembering his transformation and killing his whole entire family. End of nightmare. Slender's POV. I woke up because I heard screaming and crying from Jeff's room at like 7 in the morning. So I got up and went to Jeff's room to see a crying and screaming Jeff while sleeping. I didn't like seeing my loved one crying. Wait, what? Wait, when did it get to this point? Slender! You're getting soft. Loved one crying. Ah! It went to the very end. Loved one crying. Especially since I loved Jeff. I Jeffed you. It's Jeffed, but I have to be. I then shaked Jeff so he can wake up. After a few times of shaking him, he woke up while crying even harder. I hugged Jeff while he cried in my chest, telling him it's gonna be okay, since I already know what it is about what caused him to cry, because I can read minds. Jeff's dreams are different because he's different from the other creepypasta. For example, Ben drowned, he drowned. Sally was raped and killed by her uncle. Sorry, I had to add that because it just says she was raped. No, when she started to tell her parents about what happened, the uncle was like, you know what, we're gonna go get something from the store. When literally he takes her out into the forest and beats her to death with a rock on her head, but that's different. Clockwork was stressed. Me. I knew stress kills you. Stress kills you. Like, there you go. There's a killer for you. And still is. Toby was numb. LJ was forgotten. EJ was starved. But Jeff was bullied by kids in the school when even his parents. No, it wasn't. Sorry. Not the official story. If you actually look at the headlines of actual people looking for that kid still, his name was Jeff Woods. This is actually based on a case in the early 2000s. Yeah, it's still going on. So that's creepy. His family was lost. He was lost. No one by his side. He lost the person he loved the most, Lou. But he found him. But he's still hurting because Lou hates him. All the people are happy from what they became. But Jeff fakes his happiness. So others don't worry about him. Because he doesn't like people in his business. He wants to go through it alone. Sorry, wrong through. So I was like, he wants to go throw it. I don't know why I said that. I want to help him. I want him to not suffer anymore. Hey, Jeff, can I tell you something? I said, while hugging him. Sure, what is it? He said, still crying a bit. I love you, Jeff. I said, while blushing. Jeff lifted his head to look at me. He kissed me and said, I love you too. End of chapter 6. Sorry it was short. Good luck. I like short things. What I do. I did something. Okay, so, oh shoot. Here it is. The Creepypasta Pet, Part 1. There's more? Okay. Jeff's POV. When I woke up, I didn't see Slender laying down in my bed. So I went downstairs and I saw everyone downstairs doing their own little thing. I decided to skip breakfast. Then I saw Chris walking up to me and said, Hey, are you ready to start your training? I looked at her and smiled and said, Sure, let's go to the backyard. We started to walk towards the backyard till Slendy appeared in front of us and asked, Jeff, have you eaten yet? I looked at him and sighed and said, No, why? While he was staring at me. Because I care about your health, and now go eat something, Slender demanded. Yes, Mom, I said sarcastically. I'm not your mom, I'm your boyfriend, Slender whispered in my ear, which made me blush. I'm gonna go eat something, I said, while still blushing. As I walked away, I could hear Chris and Slendy chuckling. As I was walking towards the kitchen, I was mumbling something. Then I looked up and saw Masky and Toby kissing. What's new? Who's hoodie gonna be matched with? I want to see that. Hey, if you're gonna make out, do it somewhere else. He looked at me in shock. Anyway, what were you mumbling about? Masky said. I was mumbling something about Slendy and Chris, I said, with a slight blush on my face. Oh, really? Why? Toby said. I looked at them, then I tried to hide my blush. Then I said, don't worry about it. It was nothing. They looked at me and said, okay, whatever you say. Then Toby and Masky left the kitchen and I made myself some cereal and, of course, my favorite blood. I finished eating and I went to the living room. It was pretty weird because it's usually noisy. Jeff, where are you, Jeffy? And I was wrong. I kept thinking, Please don't come in the living room. It would be a nightmare if she found me. There you are, Jeffy. Can I ask you something? Nina said. Sure, what is it? I said, with a hint of annoyance in my voice. When's your birthday? Nina asked. In author's note, that's a hint for the next chapter. When's the next chapter coming out? Okay, anyways. I looked at her confused. Why would I tell you? Ask Lou or someone else. Just leave me alone, I said as Lena went to look for Lou. I never really liked my birthday. Besides, we're immortal. We will all look the same for thousands of years, so I don't see the point in celebrating my birthday. But anyways, I went to look for Slender and Chris. The time skip to when he finds them. I finally found them. There you guys are. I've been looking for you guys. They looked at me and smiled. Are you ready for your training? Chris said. I looked at her and said, sure, let's go. As I smiled and looked at Slenderman and walked towards him, I pecked his lips and I whispered in his non-existing ears, I love you, I said. I could see his blush and Chris chuckled a bit. And then I said, that is payback from this morning. As I walked to the backyard with Chris later. Finally, Slender's point of view. I went to the backyard because it's been an hour since I saw Jeff. And I decided to teleport in the backyard because I didn't feel like walking. I'm too lazy to walk, but anyways, I arrived at the backyard and I watched them train for a little bit. Well, you may be thinking, what type of training are they doing? If you thought of fighting, you are wrong. They are actually trying to control their power. I think that's enough for the day, I said. They looked at me and agreed. The next day at 3 p.m., still Slendy's POV. Hey, Lou, Jeff, would you like to go on a mission? I said. The two looked at each other and smiled. Yes. Okay, your mission is to kill a family. Ben will give you the address, I said, and they nodded, and before they left, I gave Jeff a kiss. At the mission, Jeff's POV. Me and Lou roamed around the house till we found a pink door, and it said Sky, random child name. Okay. I entered the little girl's room while Lou went to the adult's room. I looked in and saw her sleeping. Oh, you look so peaceful, full of sleeping. Not, I'll make you sleep forever, I said, and laughed wickedly, which caused the little girl to wake up. So I rushed to hurt and put the knife to her throat. Scream and I'll kill you, I said, then tears ran down her face. That was a lie. I'm going to kill you, so scream all you want, I said as the little girl screamed her lungs out and plunged the knife into her throat, saying, go to sleep. When I carved a smile on her face, then I heard screaming from the room Lou was in, and it stopped. Lou came out into the same room as I was. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Don't you agree? Lou said. And I laughed a little. True. But let's go now, before the cops come. End of chapter 7. one of the new creepypasta pets. Okay, guys, I'm gonna leave it here Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and put on push notifications and comment down below what you would like to see next. Next time, it's gonna be My Hero Academia. So, bye guys. Love you guys so much. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Bye bye.